Okay, now the idea that you would take an Illustrator file into Photoshop may seem counterintuitive, but most of the Illustrator files you see on the wall, probably all of them, have been run through Photoshop and enhanced there. As for this, they usually start out pretty good. I'm going to select everything and then hit Command C to copy. Then I'm going to jump over to Photoshop and hit Command N. And oh, and have you done the compositing tutorial yet? It's kind of fun. Hit Command N, remember Command N, give me a new whatever, and it says clipboard. And here we got something that's a little bigger than what we started with, and that's because of the nature of the stroke. And let's just say create, and then Command V, and we're going to get this idea. Do we want to paste this as a smart object? Pixels, path, shape layer. Now, normally I would take a smart object, but I'm going to trim this down. And so I'm going to choose pixels, but normally I would choose smart object, and when we get into the smart object quest, we'll talk more about that. So I'm going to say okay. This comes in, I'm going to hit return. Now, we've got this white line around the outside, and I kind of don't want that there, so I'm going to bring up I was just going to do this to bring up the canvas size dialog box, but I realize you don't know that shortcut yet, so image canvas size, Option Command C. I'm going to use this all year long. Now, I want to resize from the center, and I want to take, I want this back to 2650, and then I want this at 1440, right? Because I want this for the desktop picture. And when I say OK, Photoshop's going to say, hey, you're chopping off some of your image. Do you realize that? Yeah, I realize that. It's intentional. And there's still a little white line here. That's okay. We'll take care of that. We'll see what happens here. Now, we've got layer 1 in the background layer. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I don't even know if the right click here is merge down. Merge down. There we go. I just use a keyboard shortcut to do that all the time. Now, I want to take this into Camera Raw. But now here, I wasn't going to show you smart objects. Here I actually do. I'm going to click that lock. I do want to convert this. And now I'm right-clicking out here, not on the name, right-clicking out here, and convert this to a smart object. And then I'm going to take it through Camera Raw. It's under Filter. I use the shortcut. There it is. Camera Raw. And you've got a different shortcut than me. We'll talk more about that too. So I'm in Photoshop, so Photoshop is seeing this at a much higher size. If I hit Command 1, well, Option Command 0, there we go, down to 100%. So this is actual size. But we'll go ahead and, oh, geez, that's too much. Again, remember I told you click on Auto if you did the composite, and sometimes it works magic. I'm going to guess this won't be magical. No. Oversaturated, horrible colors, all that stuff, default. So you saw it work fabulous in the composite and terrible here. That's how auto works. You never know what to expect. Now for me, these colors, I kind of want to take that vibrance down a little bit. Maybe even the saturation just a touch. I'm going to lighten up these dark colors, so maybe push the blacks in this direction, maybe the shadows in that direction. And then clarity. Clarity does some interesting things. These are all flat colors right now. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, get the hand tool by pressing the space bar. You can't see the shortcuts here inside Camera Raw. I'm going to pull clarity up and watch what happens to the colors. Okay, do you see along the edges? We get kind of a gradient. If we take this, if I hit Command Z, that takes it to 87. Let's take that to 0, and then we'll pull it up all the way so you can see Command Z. See that how? And then Shift Command Z. Do you see the gradients? Watch this right here. See how that kind of pops? And it starts getting a little dark in some places. Can play with the exposure a little bit. Then dehaze can also add some interest. Pull this white up. And you just season to taste. Then contrast which way. you pull it both ways, kind of see what's going on, and then find your sweet spot where you like it. And then I'm going to come over here, I'm going to cheat and go to this HSL adjustment, and there's a hue slider where you can actually change the hue you're looking at. Saturation, where I can lower maybe this dark blue a little bit, lower this saturation. That's weird. Oh, turns it gray. See that? Pump the yellow up just a touch. So you play with these things. And then the luminance here, I can brighten up those blues a little bit. So you've got a lot of control over color here. Maybe lighten that orange a little. A lot of control. And do I like this? Not particularly. Maybe a little bit of grain. Make this feel a little textured. What about a vignette? A little bit, just a touch. So now if I hit the letter P for preview, here's where we started, here's where we are. Is it better? Is it worse? Well, it's different. So I'll hit return to click, or click OK here. And there's our before and after for that. Now, I may play with this a little bit more because I think this has some potential. But I just wanted to show you taking some flat colors into Camera Raw can let you come out with something cool. So now, watch this shortcut now when I save this untitled document. I'm going to hit Command S, and again, if this opens up in this little dialog box, I'm just going to be so disappointed with you. So open that up, and by default, it goes to the last place I saved something, which was that City Composite folder, but I don't want to save it there. If I click on this, down here, here is the path, that City Composites inside my documents, inside my home. Down here's the live paint. Now, here's a bigmess.ai. Now, I told you, never mess with that extension. If I click on this name, it changes everything, even the AI. This is not an Illustrator file. Well, right here where it says Format, see it says AI? I'm going to click on Photoshop and then click on Photoshop again, and it changes it to PSD. So I didn't break the rules. Got it? So there is one step, and I'm not done. I'm not going to show you the rest of the videos, but I am going to play with this off screen, and then I'll set this as my desktop because that's one of the things that I want you to do. And remember, this is one version. I want you to do 3, and 3 different ones. Just don't color one in 3 different ways. I want you to make 3 different desktop pictures using Illustrator's drawing tools, and you can take any of them through Photoshop and Camera Raw. You can do that. Got it?